speaking with Jordy Mercer yesterday about the intentional walks, he said the union reached out and wanted to see what his opinion, other players' opinion was on that matter. Is that what the union likes to do, is make sure they get some of the players' voices in there too as they make these decisions?
Yeah, our player leadership has to be involved in the conversation. So, despite the fact that I have a bubblegum card, it doesn't mean that I'm sitting on a stool and making unilateral decisions that are going to affect the guys that are currently on the field. That setup has never been the case. If the guys ask for my thoughts and input, I'll offer my thoughts and input against the experiences that I have. But engaging our guys, this is their union. Those are decisions that they are going to make. Again, if they're looking for direction or they're looking for background perhaps on a particular issue so they can appreciate what may make the most sense moving forward, we can provide all of that. But it is too important and too vital to their careers for us to make decisions on our own without their engagement, particularly ones that are going to affect them directly on the field and during the course of their careers.
What is the feedback you're getting from players so far this spring on the pace of play initiatives in general and the intentional walk rule specifically?
In general, everybody appreciates that it's an ongoing conversation. Do it, Kutch. An ongoing conversation. And the guys are willing to have it, while also appreciating what I've said all along, is that there are challenges in the conversation, particularly against the backdrop of knowing that these changes are going to affect, on some level, the play on the field and by default their careers, and so you understand why you're having it, or appreciate at least why you're having it, while also taking into account the responsibility that we all have, both to our history and in making sure that our industry continues to move forward in a positive fashion. So the guys get it. As you might expect, the guys are very opinionated, some stronger on certain issues than in others, as it relates to the intentional walk particularly. It's always interesting when you have conversations with hitters and then with pitchers, and you talk about removing yourself from the conversation. I was a hitter, so I have certain feelings about certain things that I will not interject into the conversation until or unless guys ask. But with the intentional walk, you had some guys at one end of the spectrum, you had other guys at the other end, but you had a large majority in the middle, which is why it was a little bit easier to have that conversation at the time we were having it, and continue to have it to some extent, than some of the others. So as I referenced, it's a little more difficult to find consensus on other issues if the majority is pushing one way versus the other, and that is whether it's on-field rules or anything else for that matter. So our engagement with the guys will continue. Our discussions with respect to pace of game and where our industry moves to will continue. And as again you've heard me say from the beginning, we anticipate that ongoing dialogue with Major League Baseball to continue.